All right, so today's video, we are back with a Where Are They Now? Again, Where Are They Now is when they already recorded them, and now we have to guess their new rank. So the player we're watching previously was a Diamond 2 support on PS5 14 months ago. They say that this was a solo queue match, despite my other support having a similar name and convention. This was a match of the Hogs and who was ultimately better. Our Hog, or who was a better player, Hog. I feel like I contributed, but I think I got destroyed by Junkrat a few too many times. I couldn't really heal much because Kiriko was on top of it, so I focused on more utility. This felt more like I needed to be doing more than heals. I feel this game I could have played better. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to guess the rank at the end here, and we're going to give some advice as we go. So let's see. Wonderful. A Widow immediately gets a pick. So far, doing a good job of doing some damage. Remember, yeah, the other team doesn't have a Widow either, so you're good there. Good start. Remember, for anybody like new to BAP or like, you know, any of like the newer style of having to play like more like damage-centric support, which is very common right now, taking angles, playing like this, and like going for shots a lot of time is very important. That extra damage you do goes a long way. Right? Yes, you get drops. I'm watching. Rough start right there. I equate that to everybody just got rolled in your team. I'm not even like, I think you took a correct position on the high ground, and you were like one of the last ones to go down. Okay, so now you're just on to Ana. Already off of BAP. Now you're on to Ana. So we'll see what happens next. I don't mind this swap because of the Hog, right? And they're not running the Kiriko. So, like, technically you're going to get more value now. At the very worst, this will, like, force a Kiriko onto them. Like, they'll switch the Kiriko if they need to, so. But this can definitely help your Hog more. Like, in theory, your Hog should have the advantage here because you have a Kiriko. Did Hog and Gibraltar? Hog and Gibraltar is not even that bad, especially on first point. First point, that is. First point, Hog can get a lot of, like, run around the map and do all this stuff, right? Which can be really cool. So. And yes, the new drops should be active. Yep. I do want to help a little bit on one thing. I do think you need to clean up the movement a little bit in some situations here. I find that you're getting stuck on a lot of stuff, so try to like put yourself in spots where you're not running into walls a lot. That would go a long way of just like setting up a position and then taking advantage of that position. I've seen you do it a few times already. Just be careful of that. All right, going to the point. You know you can go to the point too because of the Widow walls. This is perfect. Good job. Nice, good play. I mean, that was excellent. The Widow walls basically let you know where they're at. The other team didn't care about the point. They just wanted to go get some kills, and you got the point there. So good job. Yeah, when Widow's popping, it's always a good thing, especially on Gibraltar. So do the position is great. And I want like the pause about the position, like just to show people very quickly on Gibraltar on first point, like going here as a support or a DPS and going here isn't bad. But like if you go like up here and you get stuck on walls, like you need to be in spots where what makes positioning so strong is the capability of being able to do a bunch of damage or do whatever you need to do, and then also have the ability to go and hide within seconds. But then on top of that, be able to pop right back out and do it again, right? So like, you know, I don't even like this spot that much, to be honest with you, but I get why you go to here. Like this is a personal preference. Whenever I go here, everybody's like, wow, look at all these people right here. But if your teammates have control of the map, it's not bad. So if you go here, you want to play it a little bit safer, right? You want to be like, even if you go here, you want to be able to duck down and survive and do things like that. So always kind of set yourself up to be able to fall back easily and also be able to re-engage easily too, right? That's kind of how you want to position that when you're setting up. Yeah, well, if they walk on you there, that's why it has to be all about if your teammates are set up too, right? Melly, thank you for the prime, so thank you, appreciate it, thank you. Does that make sense? So, try to set up for the stairs here. Yep, good job. This is a good spot because, yeah, you see what's happening, by the way? I think you have a little bit of more map awareness that you need to do. You keep bumping into stuff. And this is just something you can clean up by just being a little bit more aware in the maps. This is what I was talking. It's just like, it's a small thing, but it can go a long way. Like, this is how you get one shot by a Widow randomly. Like, watch. See? You see how you're doing that? I want you to get a little bit more careful on that. I know it's like a very minuscule like tip on this one, but this can go a long way in surviving a team fight, setting up in that 1 second window you have. I've seen you do this a few times. You got to be careful of that. All right. Yep. Map awareness can go a long way. I'm telling you, it can be super helpful. Yep. Actually, while I'm saying that, has anybody been having a problem recently on some of the redone maps where you try to? It's happened to me on New Junk City a lot. Has anybody had the problem on like New Junk City or Saravasa where you back up and because they changed the map, you're like, oh man, so you run into a wall? It's happened to me a few times recently where I think I'm going to a spot and I just back up into a wall because they redid the map and I was so used to it. So I'm in that relearning phase on Saravasa and New Junk City because of that. So it's great. I'll eventually figure it out over time, you know? But you're being a little bit too, yeah, there you go. You got to drop down sooner than that. And again, don't be afraid to just play this angle for a little bit because you get more vision. You don't have to go to the hallway up top. You have a health pack here. You can control this area for a little bit. You don't need to push in because you have such good angles from here. I could not tell you. One thing I will say, and this is coming from somebody who's a sleep dart waster too, don't waste your sleep dart there, especially against a hog or if they're pushing the room. I mean, nobody was even in there yet. I know you're trying to be like reactionary with your sleeps there, but like I've seen you throw your sleep a few times. Just try to clean that up a little bit. Keep in mind, that was one of my biggest issues on Ana, is I would overuse that cooldown, and the better I've got at realizing that it's really fun to hit sleeps, but you also might need your sleep, is a really hard balance to find sometimes. Yes, all the drops are available now. You should be good to go to get all of them. Yep. Good setup here. Good Ana grenade. Well played. Yeah. Okay. I want you to understand that right now, one thing you can really improve on is when you don't know what to do for a second, it almost looks like you will get lost on the map for a second. So you want to clean that up. And the best way to clean that up is just, like, don't, like, maybe you're second guessing where to go right away. That's usually what happens in those situations. Just go to a spot. Like, don't even second guess it. Just go there. If they roll you, you'll learn from it. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that's... like, it's one of those things where I've seen you almost, like, second guess where you're going to go, and then you end up running into a wall. I'm just trying to get you out of that, like, habit of doing that. You know what I mean? Okay, setting up on high. See what I mean? Like, it okay. It's such a, like, the way that you rotate to me is very... Be careful here. You don't need to go be the tank. Like what's gonna make you... Okay. While this is working, by the way, I really want you to understand that, like, playing, like, safer here is what's gonna win you rounds. The amount of times I've lost to an Ana just sitting right here is, like, too damn high. It's like, you're given the opportunity for that team to kill you, right, with that position. So I really want you to be careful of that. And, like, this is one of the few spots where you can literally just lock in and scope in and, like, not even have to worry about anything else. So I just want you to not get so aggro and try to play distance and sightlines. Like, one thing that makes a really good support pop off is the ability to create sightlines and be nearly impossible to kill. Like, the only way you should go down here is if the Tracer hits a sick pulse bomb on you, or, I don't know, Junkrat gets tired or something. Like, you could sit right here and be fine the whole time, right? I want you to be a little bit wary of, like, pushing up to people. Even with the Junkrat, when you slept the Junkrat, let me ask you a question. Why'd you stand right next to the Junkrat when you did that? Because think about it. If the Junkrat gets up there, that Junkrat could two-shot you. Why stand right next to him when you slept the Junkrat and just stand there? Like, there's a couple of things that I think you need to adjust with your positioning that I think is going to help a lot in the way that you rotate. It feels like sometimes, like I said, you second-guess that, and it puts you in very, like, unique spots. So, yep. I said, okay, so here's what you said. You said if you sit here, you get dove by everyone all the time, which is a good point. But let me ask you a question. If you're in a 5v5 situation, no picks, even 5v4, if they have to deep dive you back here, that's a win. That is a win, because if they deep dive you, you can already see it coming. Like, you're going to know they're going to go for you. You rotate up, you go into here, you use the health pack, you buy time. Your teammates need to self-sustain, but if they're overcommitting to diving you and creating, like, a numbers advantage up here for your team, that's Overwatch. Like, that's what you're doing in that situation. Like, sometimes you're going to be the dive target, but what you do is you create tough dive targets for the other team, so that way it's a lot harder for them to make those plays. You get what I'm saying? That's why I think it's a good opportunity to do that. So. Yeah, but wait on your grenade to come back in 4 seconds. The sleep won't last as long as that, right? So like, there's no world where standing right next to the Junkrat would work out in that favor, right? You can just go back a little bit so that way when the Junkrat does go there. And don't worry, I've made that mistake on Ana a ton, which is why I'm pointing that one out. That is something I used to do a lot on Ana. Now when I sleep, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna adjust to a position where they can't follow up on me. So. I thought you were talking about Ana grenades. You said he was waiting on his nades, right? There you go. Not bad. Good sleep on your Kiriko. Remember, position is important here. Oh yeah, no, I think sleep. I think sleep lasts like what, like 5 seconds or so. I think it is, but I think the cooldown wasn't going to be up in time. As in, like, I think they slept and the Ana grenade was at like 6 or 7 seconds. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong. Either way, there's no reason to stand next to him, regardless. You know what I mean? Like, you can throw your Ana grenade from a distance. Like, there's just, even if it was on cooldown at a good timing, like, there's no reason to just stand there in front of them, like, on top of them. That's what I'm saying. Ooh, rough rotation here. Rough rotation. I'm going to show you a point of view of something, and I want you to tell me this is the correct rotation. I'm the enemy team. Let's watch. What do we notice here? So, chat, let's talk about the correct rotation here. What is the correct rotation in this situation? The answer to this is going to be surprising. Fall back. Because think about it. If you go this way, there's a Junkrat here. Why would you want to take a 1v1 here against a Junkrat in a small hallway? If you go this way, why would you want to go this way if you're turning your back to the whole team, right? So what you do is you play safe for now and wait for the map control to come with the team, like have the team get the map control, and then go and take the room when you're ready. But doing this rotation, like look at how this looks from the enemy point of view. You're not even looking at him, you're taking some spam damage across the board, and now you're falling over. See? Because like I said, if you go through that small hallway against a Junkrat, you're going to fall over immediately. That's why I want to kind of show you why that whole play in general, you know? Okay, here we go. Yep, so stay here for now. You don't have to force that. You don't have to force any of the position. Nice sleep right there. Excellent sleep, actually. Very accurate. Tracer on you in the back. Play health packs, though, right? Like, there's a health pack to your left that can be very important here. If you isolate yourself here, this Tracer can win the 1v1 against you. Or you can just do that. Because you got the Ana headshot perk one, so nice job. That's one of those rare moments where the headshot perk was a good play. I like the other one better because you can peel for yourself with Nano. You gotta nano somebody soon. You gotta nano somebody on cart like ASAP. There you go. I would have done that even sooner because it gives you more map control. Nice kill there. Good job. A little bit of a note here. What you ended up, your positioning got too aggressive again. When you hit the nano, you just want to back up and go here. No one can kill you. You're literally, no one can kill you. If your teammates go over here, that's their fault. If they go over here, that's their fault. You can just sit all the way back here and be unkillable the whole time. If the Tracer deep dives you here, which I don't even know if they stayed on Tracer, it wouldn't matter. You just play all the way back and I've lost many times to a really well-positioned support all the way back here, unkillable, just keeping people alive and just losing because of that. So again, positioning I think is something you really need to work on. I find that you're kind of gravitating to playing really hyper aggro as Ana, where a lot of really good hyper aggro Anas play far back and then use positioning to really take over the game. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. So, but so far not bad. I'm fine with that Ana grenade. Are we guessing the rank? Yes, because it's a where are they now? So I need to guess the rank after. I have an idea. I could be wrong, but we'll see. I need to see the defense and how it plays. There's two options for setting up on this map. It's up here aggressively, or you can play back here and tell your teammates where your line of sight is. In ranked, I tend to see more people go here because getting your teammates to agree to position in line of sight can be really difficult sometimes, especially in ranked. You know, so you hear a Junkrat, you hear a Junkrat. Good job, though. Got the kill. There you go. Now you're good. Good job. Stay here. Don't rotate. Do not over-rotate this. If your teammates push up, it's their fault.
Get out of my way or I'll run you over.
If you're gonna drop down, play server. You'll hear me reference server sometimes. This is server room. There you go. Rotating around. This position is also fine. I don't mind this spot either. Safe from cover. Good sleep. You won't be able to follow up. Also, does anybody else do this thing? Because I just saw it happen. Just because you sleep somebody doesn't, you don't have to sit there and zoom in on them and be like, I did that, I slept them. So many people will sleep somebody and they just get like stun locked by like sleeping someone and they just stare at them. And then that's what happens. So just be careful of that because I get that you can fall over, you know? Yep. I've seen many times where someone will do that and just fall over immediately because they're just standing still staring at the sleep. You can throw that same auto grenade without dropping. I gotta say, this Junkrat must have been annoying to play against because you've taken some spam damage that has been... Yes, I love this rotation by you. Good job. This was a smart play, just so you know. Very good rotation here. This is what I'm talking about. Great rotation. Good purple on the hog. You can play like this, by the way, too. Remember, something that I think people forget, by the way, when you're playing Ana here, don't be afraid to do something like this because some people always feel like if you're not healing your tank or looking at your tank, they're going to fall over. But like, think about this. You have a BAP up here with a window at this angle. Your BAP can keep your teammates alive over here. So what you can do is technically create like a crossfire, sit up here, be in a safe spot, taking no damage, and then heal your teammates through the window. So these two, the soldier and the BAP, can then benefit greatly from this while you're over here just playing a very safe angle. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, don't be afraid to do something like that. Because like now you can keep them alive and give them more benefit, which is what you're doing now. Nano your soldier. Excellent nano. Great play. Do you see this? How like you're not even like in front of their team, but you're being very effective. Excellent rotation back after that. It's sometimes you want to be able to save everybody during that, but just trust that your other support has your hog there. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, you will ping them, but then either start doing damage if you think, oh yeah, no, just to make it clear on the sleep part, Nod, we're not talking about if you like ping them after you sleep them. We're talking about when you sleep someone and you just stare at them for 3 seconds going, wow, I slept them. As somebody said in the chat, I don't know who it was, said, you also sleep yourself doing that? That's exactly what happens. Like, you're basically like, you're doing that, you're just basically you're just sitting there, right? So, while it's great to hit a 6 sleep, the best, whenever, I used to do that too. My reaction to hit a sleep now is, okay, I slept them, let me get to a good spot, ping them, and then make my decision. Now, obviously, if you sleep them and they have 30 HP, you just shoot at them and you're good to go, right? But if they're full HP, reposition to a good spot because they're going to wake up, and if your teammates can't help you. How many times have you slept somebody, expect your teammates to help you, and then you fall over, right? The step you're missing there is you can't always expect your teammates to follow up on a sleep, so you need to position yourself in case your teammates don't, right? You need to position yourself to where if your teammates don't follow up on a sleep, then you're in a good spot. Or let's say you have a Junkrat and a random Junkrat spams them, right? And they wake up, you're in a better spot after the sleep. So just be careful of that. Again, it's a good way to go about it because then your sleeps will be a lot more effective and you'll be able to survive more after those. Yeah. I mean, Groggy's pretty good for that. Yeah, Groggy is something I like the double honor grenade just because it's fun, but yeah, I agree that Groggy is a really underrated perk selection.
Not bad.
Here we go. Now, chat, let me ask you this question. Is that good positioning right there? Nope. You can do that from outside the room. You can do that from any angle. You don't have to be in the room with them. You can hit that same honor grenade from a distance, even medium range. You don't need to be in that small hallway. Now, your teammates follow up and get enough kills. Great. But that's how you have inconsistency in games because a play like that always isn't going to go that way. So, good sleep. Good job there. Be careful here again because you put yourself in a small area. So just remember, if you're going to play here, you got to position yourself correctly too. which would be, I mean, technically it's fine for now, but now you got to start backing up in a second. Don't. You see what I mean? Like you need to really recognize these type of rotations. If you end up in this small room, if a team fight goes on for too long, you're going to fall over. I mean, this was clear as day. That was what was going to happen because of what you're playing against, okay? You can heal your Roadhog at stairwell from right here, right? Like, why do you need to be up in this small room like that if you can literally be over here? Heck, don't want to be here? Look at this spot. Do you see, like, these sight lines that you're giving up on just to go run into this small hallway or small ship against a Junkrat? Think of sight lines. Think of position. You don't need to be that close to be able to do that. And you mentioned earlier, oh, maybe you needed to do more damage. Well, one of the easiest ways to do more damage as Ana is to be unkillable, right? Yeah, I feel you on that, Beaver. I did that a lot on Ana. That's why I say, like, this is also coming from experiences, and that's why Ana became one of my better supports, was because I recognized that a lot of what I was doing was, I was playing like a tank. Okay, now, keep in mind, chat, I want to point, don't worry, I do the same thing. I want to point out why this spot is okay for now, right? Is because the team isn't there. So you know you have the safety net of this part. But as they get more map control, you need to rotate, right? You're not going to be the tank here. You're going to be the one that needs to stay alive to keep your teammates alive. Heck, go up top here. You have a slight timing, which you might go for, right? You jump up here quickly, go up, boom, done, you're up here. I mean, even then you might have lost that time, and we'll see. That Junkrat trap might have stopped that, but we'll find out. All right, the real and only George, thank you for the tier 1. Thanks, appreciate it. Thank you. Go up here. Nice job.
Get ready for a fight. Team, stop the
this is better positioning. I like this decision making by you. Cart is moving. Do not worry about it. That's not your responsibility right now. You want to keep your teammates alive and do some extra damage. Okay? Like that. Perfect job. Do not drop. Do not. How did I know you were going to drop? You might win this team fight, but how did I know you were going to drop there? The way you've been playing, I saw that coming. Thankfully, your teammates got a kill, and you end up surviving, and they pushed in. But I knew you were going to do that. And again, this goes back to the consistency part. That worked there. It's not always going to work with those plays. The safer, or like, you don't even about playing safe. The better you position yourself, the more likely you'll win a game. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but positioning goes a long way. Poop into the tier 1. Thanks, appreciate it. Thank you. Careful. You can nano your hog. Good nano. I don't mind that. That's just to give yourself some time and give the other team some, like, make them overreact to the elves. Great job. Good job by your team. So, yeah, hopefully I think you really need to focus on your position. I think that, like, your strategy of just walking up to them and doing that was just not ideal. So I really want to get you in the mindset of playing that better and, like, safer. But I really do think that you are making a lot of progress, but I think your position is what's going to really make things somewhat difficult. Now to the next part here is guessing your rank. So last time that we watched you, you were Diamond 2 support. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I'm gonna get wild here. I'm gonna guess Master 5, and I'm gonna tell you why. Before I look, I think that you have actually climbed a bit, because what I looked at as I looked at the whole game, positioning from everybody was people were playing corners, people were playing walls. There was some individual plays. There was all this, right? I could be wrong. And it could have gone the opposite way, but I think I saw enough solid positioning in Gibraltar being played a little bit different than, like, I would normally see it played in other VODs, but we'll see. And the actual rank is... You want me to tell you, chat? Masters 5. How about that? The number one thing I saw here was the positioning from everybody in the game. Nobody was just, like, running to cart over and over again, stacking cart. People were taking individual team fights. There was solid positioning on both sides. And that's why I'm also saying that if you work on your positioning, you'll climb even more. Right in the spot with that one. I obviously have the advantage of knowing they were Diamond 2 prior and definitely didn't drop. So at the very worst, I think they would have been somewhere. If I was wrong on that guess, it was probably going to be somewhere in Diamond. But Masters 5 is where I was on that one. So